Good morning, everyone. Good morning, Mary Lou. Good morning, Kathy. I'm going to apologize in advance. My camera, which I thought I had fixed, now has a different issue. I fixed one issue and now I have another issue. So I am going to have to use the other camera today because it says it's not getting enough power now and wants me to put in a battery. It's not wanting to connect as a webcam now. Really weird, strange. It was working fine the other day, and now today it doesn't want to work, and I didn't change anything. Hi, Brenda. But we'll get through it, right? All right. We will be live tomorrow, Thursday, 7 p.m., and Friday at 11 a.m. Eastern Time on those. I already have the projects laid out, so I'm gonna go through this and then I'll show you what we've got planned for the week. Don't forget the current sale. Still have 30% off on infusible ink. Don't forget to use the group code Cuties. Use those links down below. I will earn a small commission should you make a purchase. And check out the Cricut Access exclusives, guys. There is a great price on the blades. Fantastic price on blades. So make sure that you're stocking up there. Hi, Rami. Hi, Colleen. Also, make sure you sign up for mystery box notifications. You can do that on craftingwithapril.co or scan those QR codes. And the current giveaway is up. In order to win one of the shopping sprees, there will be 3 of them, one for $250, one for $150, and one for $100. And it will depend on the order in which you are drawn as a winner, because we will draw the lower amount up to the higher amount. Rafflecopter will do that drawing for us. Also, you need to create a new project, not one that you've used previously or posted previously, using any Cricut Access heart image, and use a Cricut product. Then you need to post that, put your photos, take a photo of your project, put that photo into your project where you edit the description. I will show you that here in just a minute. Put your photo in there and then copy your link and post your link into the group with the hashtag #BeMine and the Cricut product that you used. Then go over to craftingwithapril.co and scan, or either scan that QR code to get there. You will go, let me see if I can pull that up for you guys right here. You will go to craftingwithapril.co, not .com, and then you will come over to the Cricut Giveaways tab. And right here, you see the Rafflecopter form. This is where you enter. If you do not do this step, you are not entered. Good morning, Louise. You have to do this step to be entered, okay? All the details are there. Just make sure that you're doing all of that. I have to find, somebody posted yesterday or the day before, the day that it went live. Anyway, they posted and they don't have a photo in their project. We have to be able to open the project. You can't have any uploads in it. We have to be able to open it, and you have to have a photo in there. So, as this one, you can come in and you can see I have my photo in here. To get to that, you would edit your file and add your photos. Click here, name it, and then you can put tags in there if you want to. And if you want to add Cricut Community, right here you can add that tag. You don't have to add tags, but you do have to have a photo. And anybody that doesn't know how to do that, you can let us know. If you don't know how to set up your profile, we will help you. You simply go to the hamburger menu, view your profile, and then you would set it up by editing your photo, edit your background, and when you edit your profile, you can go and make that public. People cannot see all of your projects, only what you share publicly. And then you can put your about me, and if you want to show your location, you can do that. So make sure you're setting up your profile and sharing, because you can see projects that we share. Only the projects that we share. You can see that I have 500 projects in there that I have shared, but I have many more projects in my stuff. It used to tell us how many we had, but it doesn't really show that anymore. So lots of projects for you guys. Good morning, Gail. So my overhead is not working, so let me switch over to let me go over here. This will be Friday's. Let me start. Yeah, this will be Friday's file. We are going to be doing this. This is from the community. Now, I changed the topper on mine, but it is a little cake box. I changed up the base and the doily, and it's a little fiddly because of the top, but you can do it and get it in there. I have a hard time getting that lid on unless I'm standing up. So, and it's because of the jagged edge, but it all fits perfectly. They did a really good job on it. I did make changes so that we could do print and cut. I told you it was kind of fiddly. I can't do it unless I'm standing up because it gets caught. Maybe I can walk it around. There we go. So I did a rose with a chocolate in it, but it's a good size box. And you can size it down too. You can also size it up. But I set it up to where you could do print and cut. I did print and cut on all of the lid and the base, except this part down here. And I'm going to show you guys how to rework the file. Or parts of the file, because I already did parts of it for you for time purposes. And we're going to make that on Friday. On Thursday, I reworked one of my old files. And this is the personalized box where we did the acetate in the window, and we could do Merry Christmas or Happy Birthday or a name across the front. And I decided to change it up and do that Cricut Rose card that's in Designspace, and I used it for the box lid. And then I also foiled it, but you can use your glitter pen. I foiled on the inside. I cut this out so that the first layer on the inside of the box, it actually has the writing, so it's kind of inset there, and the card is layered up like a shadow box. So super fun and pretty there. So we're going to do that one on Thursday night. So I told you guys this was box or treat box week. So you guys are going to have plenty of stuff to pack up, all of your Valentine goodies, and do that. Right, Brenda? That box is so versatile that you can change it up and do anything as long as you learn your Designspace and your contour tools and things like that. You can do just about anything with that box. So, and I love how it sits down on the lower corner. I had it in the middle, and I thought, no, you know what? I want to change this. I want it to be different. So I pulled it down to that lower corner. You guys like that? Do you like that? Instead of just being centered, kind of gives it a little more interest, I think. So we did that, and then today we are doing our little teeny tiny Valentine mailboxes, and it has a little love note in it that says "Be mine," that you're going to put in there. And that also locks the candies into place when you put them in there so that you don't have to glue them. And you just place them in, and then you put your little envelope in, and you can write a name on there too if you want, I guess. And then you pop it in, and then that locks your candies in. So, super cute fun. Flag moves. Oops, I didn't glue that very well. The flag moves, so lots of fun. The kids will love these. I couldn't find my red and white twine, so I used my silver and my gold to match my candies. And if you do not have brads, you don't have to have them. I set the file up so that you guys wouldn't have to have brads. So we're going to put those together here in a few minutes. Thanks, Brenda. I'm glad you guys like that. So let's talk a little bit about the matte screen. And I'm going to use today's project for an example. There we go. Let's customize. So when you're doing something like this, we just do one in the canvas, and then we apply our copies over on the matte screen. So I'm just going to hit Make It. Actually, I'm going to go with I want to try to do something. I'm just going to use my maker machine for the tutorial here because I don't want to get any pop-ups. Well, actually, yes, I do. Let's go back to the Maker 3. Usually when you hit Make It and you're on your Maker 3, Explore 3, it will ask you what size mat, on a mat, off a mat, etc. Whenever you have a print and cut, you don't get that, okay? Because it requires a mat, so it automatically knows that you have to do this on a mat. So you don't get that pop-up box up here asking you to choose which mat. Okay, so that would be the difference in the 3 machines and the regular machines. Hi, Marianne. Uh-oh, I hope everything's okay. So once you hit Make It, it's going to bring you over to the matte screens. And I just wanted to go into a little more detail about things on the matte screen and what you can do. Now, I can change this to A4 or you leave it on letter size. And I can mirror it if I want to, but I don't have to. And I did those little teeny tiny hearts and all of that. I put them in here because there's plenty of space. I don't know how many you can actually get on a print and cut. I'll try 10. But I know how many of the mailboxes you can get on a sheet. You can get more than 10. Let's try 15. Because you can always do, yeah, you can get 15 on there, maybe 20. No, can't do 20. Let's see. This is where you want to apply your copies so you don't bog down your design space. 18 is too many. I'm going to say 15 is going to be the limit. It might be 17, but we're going to go with 15. So on your print and cut, your limit is going to be 15, between 15 and 18. So, oh good, Marion. So you can print and cut this and be done with it and then cancel out of your project and hide those in the canvas and then come back to this over here. And of course, you're going to get many more copies of your flags on a 12 by 12 sheet. Now I did use an 8.5 by 11 sheet, so because I was out of the foil poster board from Cricut in silver, so I used a piece of the Michael's Recollections brand, and it comes in 8.5 by 11. So I'm cutting that on a mat also, but I can change the size of my paper here. Okay, so you can select it and it's automatically going to adjust for you. So you can cut that and get as many copies as you want out of that one sheet, depending on how many of these you want to make. I'm going to change this to 8 because I know that's how many I can get of the red ones. And you can see that it does the same thing. It reverts back. You can just go back in and select your paper sizes for whatever you're cutting. Also notice on the mat screen it tells you exactly what each mat is going to do. If you have it selected, it's going to be a lighter gray than the others. All right, and that's what, when you hit continue, that's the mat that's going to cut first on your machine unless you change it. And we will get over there in just a second. So if you're going to do your print and cut first, you can do that. Come in, do your second mat. But you get one chance here without having to cancel. You can always cancel and come back to this screen and change things. But this is the screen that's easiest to do this. And I know that 8 will fit on here, but I have to do some maneuvering. And if you select an image, you will see that you have Move Object, Hide Selected, or you have your rotation. And I'm just because this end is a little bit longer, I'm going to rotate that and bring it up some. Right here, I'm going to bring these in. And if you want to cut, instead of doing print and cut on your little red hearts, if you want to be fiddly with them, you can get all of those up here in these empty spaces. And then I'm just going to pull this one up in here. You just don't want anything to touch. Just going to bring that one up. And then I'm going to rotate this one. I'm going to slide it up in there. I got to try to keep it straight. And then we're going to select this one and rotate it. So I know that I can get 8 of these on this page. So I'm going to go to the second mat. And this has not been working. Hopefully it works today. But if you pull it down here, then you can, when you move it, it will just pop it in on the mat where that's supposed to go, supposedly. But mine hasn't been working, so I'm just going to move the object. And I'm going to select that red mat that I've already been working on, and it did. Yay! It's working today. Yesterday it wasn't working. It was putting them at the top. So I'm going to go back to this mat, and I am going to move this one. And I'm going to select that mat. And now I've got 8 on that page. That one's not quite straight. So I've got 8 on a page right there, and I still have a little bit of scrap. So now when I hit make it, you can see that this mat is still here, but it's empty. When you hit continue, that mat is going to go away. And remember I said whatever mat you had selected over there is the mat that it's going to start cutting over here. You need to be aware of that, because if you're looking at one and you put your print and cut paper on there, it's going to be cutting through mat number 3 out of your print and cut paper. So you need to be careful when you go to these mat screens and make sure that you are loading the mat into the machine that you're actually on, especially if you've been playing with moving objects and everything, because it doesn't automatically, when you pop over there, revert back to mat 1. It reverts to the mat that you were working on the previous screen. And I'm just going to cancel so you can see that. So if I'm working on mat 2 and I hit continue, then mat 2 is what it's going to be on when I start cutting. So make sure you double check that, because I can't tell you how many times I got busy, didn't pay attention, loaded my red paper, stuck it in there, and it cut what I was supposed to cut from my silver paper from my red. So make sure that you're looking at that. So once you get over on that machine, it's going to find your machine, which I didn't have on. And then you're just going to hit continue once it reads it. Good morning, Ann. I apologize, my dogs are barking. The golf cart, our apartment complex, the workers ride around on golf carts, and they hate the golf carts. He doesn't want to read it. Let me cancel and go back. Okay, there it goes. I knew it would kick in. So once you've hit and you're on the screen that, or mat that you want to cut first, you're going to, for print and cut, we've already covered that. You can say you've already printed if you printed it and you want to cut it at a later date. Just remember, don't move anything on your print and cut, even though you can, unless you're cutting immediately. And just to reiterate, because I had somebody post that their print and cut was not working, all they got was the spinning wheel. So if you turn on your system dialog like you're supposed to, leave your bleed on like you're supposed to, and you hit that print button, remember, if this is all you're seeing, and that's all you see, and that's all you see, and it's all you see, and you come back in 20 minutes and that's still all you see, it's because you have not moved your screen down. Now mine's, because I'm using two screens, it pops up on the main screen. But this is going to be behind your screen. When you're seeing this, you need to move your window or resize your window so that you can see your print dialog box. It's not that you don't have to contact Epson. I don't know. I think it's a lot of Epsons pop up behind the screen. Some of the printers, it pops up in the front. But if you, I'm going to cancel that. But when you go and you do this, guys, they give you important notes. When you see these information eyes, it says important. After clicking print, your print dialog may appear behind your design space window. So make sure that you're looking back there if you're thinking that your print and cut is not working. It is. You just have to find your print dialog box. Okay? And let's see. Once you've selected which mat you're going to cut, then you're going to select your materials. Now, we covered managing materials and how to browse all materials on Monday. It's usually a Mac thing. Yes, Marianne. Mac and Epsons. I don't know if the Epsons do it on Windows. I know that I had an HP printer in my Mac, and my HP window popped up in the front, but my Epson pops up in the back. So it's going to depend on your computer and your printer. So once you have found your material and you've selected it, I cut this Michaels foil poster board. It's not as heavy as Cricut. I just cut it on medium cardstock. So you'll select that, and then it will tell you, you can remember those settings for everything. If everything you're cutting in this project was medium cardstock, that's what I just had it remember it, so I didn't have to select it for each mat. And then it will tell you to load your tools. Now, if you don't have a double scoring wheel and you have a maker, if you have a regular Explorer machine, your scoring stylus is going to be the default. If you have a maker machine or any machine other than the makers, your default is the scoring wheels, okay? And the scoring wheels, if you don't have one, you can simply click Edit Tools and select the stylus and apply. And then it will allow you to use the scoring stylus here, okay? And of course, that goes into slot A, your accessory clamp, okay? B is your blade clamp. So that's going to go into slot A. So you have to load it before you do your pen. Notice how now it says coming up the black pen. But if you're on your scoring wheel, it's going to be a little bit different. It wants you to load your pen into clamp A and your scoring wheel into clamp B. And if you don't do that and you forget to put your pen in, I'm not going to say how many times I do that, then you're going to have to not unload your mat and start over, because it will not air score when the scoring wheel is selected. And so you can't just put your pen in there and just let it do it. It has to score it all again. If you use your scoring stylus and then you put your pen in, there's not a chance of forgetting it. So your Epson pops up on front in Mary Lou on Windows. Okay. So the Epson behind the screen is Mac and not Windows. I know that I've had on my Mac, I've had my HP. When I had it, it popped up in the front because I went through that thing. Couldn't get my dialog box when I got the Epson. All right, so that's basically it for your mat screens. Your next step is, of course, to load your mat. And then once you've loaded your mat, you can hit the go button. It will give you the flashing go button. So super easy and simple on those. Okay. Does anybody have any questions about the mat screen? And while we're over here, I just want to pop over to and talk about the tools for a second for the makers, just so that you guys, any newbies that we have, know about the blades. So let me get to our overhead, our makeshift overhead. This is your knife blade, okay? And then you also have your rotary blade. And the rotary blade often gets confused with the scoring wheels, okay? And you can see that they look pretty similar, okay? Unless you look at the tops of them. I don't want to cut myself. Those are sharp. These have no silver button, and this one has a silver button. These are not quick swap housings. Let me repeat, your knife blade and your rotary blade are not quick swap housings. You can replace the blades. They have kits where you can replace the blades on those, but no parts come off of these. Do not remove your plastic stabilizers. Leave them on your tool. That's going to help keep things getting caught in the gears while it's working in the machine. Say you lean over your machine and you have long hair, you don't want your hair getting caught in that gear. So leave those protective covers on. It's a stabilizer. And once you've done that, you notice I said this one had a silver button. This one is a quick swap housing. This allows me to depress that button and remove the tool from the end and change it out with a different tool. Okay, so if I just wanted to buy one quick swap housing and use it for my perforation tool, I simply just have to click on it. Oops, line it up, April, and put that tool on there. So I can use one quick swap housing, and then I can use the tips of the other tools for each housing. And you can swap them around. So super easy to do that. Okay. And you have a perforation tool, you have a wavy blade, you have a debossing tool. Let's see, this is your double scoring wheel, debossing. This is the perforation tool. And then you have a wavy tool. No, that is my, there's your wavy tool. So you have all of these tips, that's the single scoring wheel, that you can use with your maker machine. And while I have you guys here, same as with your foil tool. The foil tool, you can change the tips out on those. You have a fine, a medium, and a bold. They simply drop in. They're magnetized, so you can just drop them in, and they are in there. You depress the buttons on the top. Same for changing your blades. If your blade gets dull, this is my felt blade. I have felt on there. You're just simply going to depress the button and pull that blade out, and then drop in the new blade. And it will go into the housing. You don't take your housings apart. I've only seen that happen once, but just so you guys know how to use your tools. Yeah, Gail, you don't have to have all of them. I just use so many different ones. It's just easier for me to keep up with if I have them all on their own separate tool. So I don't have to worry about swapping them out because I get super busy sometimes and I don't have time for all of that. So let's put together, I'm going to have to scooch over and we'll put together these little tiny mailboxes. They're so cute. All right. So now I got these brads. These are from, excuse me. These are from Close to My Heart, but you can get them at Michael's, Hobby Lobby. These are just little silver brads, little mini brads. They're, let me get in there. They got a pretty decent size top on them. So that's what I'm using there. This is super, super easy. Your little envelopes, you're just going to fold on the scores. I do not use my bone folder on these because you want them to spring back out. Okay, you want that spring in there because these are going to be what locks your candy into the mailbox. So don't use your bone folder on those. You don't want it to be super tight and crisp. And then I have just these little bitty teeny tiny hearts, guys. And I used tape runner on mine for time purposes. When you're making a bunch of these, it's just easier. So I'm just going to put a little tape on there. I've got it on that piece of paper so I don't get glue all over everything on my desk. And then we're just going to stick it right on the front. And the reason that I didn't do these print and cut is because the inside is print and cut. I used the Heartbeat font and changed it to cut. That's the Heartbeat. I'm not going to get any light there. That's the Heartbeat font. And then I made 3 little hearts, and that was easier to print and cut this piece to do on the opposite side. So super easy and simple on that. We're going to do 2 of them here just so you guys can see how they go together. And then I have my flags. And I just had it draw the circle on there for your flags in case you didn't have brads. And you're just going to fold that right in half. And you can use your bone folder on this piece if you want. Well, it won't hurt anything because we want that to stay together. So it's got a drawn little circle on there, and I'm just using my Cricut tool and a flower mat, and I'm just piercing that hole. Okay, and that's if you have a brad. If not, you can use a rhinestone to go here on there, and it's going to cover up the one on your mailbox. There's a little drawn circle right there, and I'm just going to pierce that one to the other one. Super easy and simple because you don't want to cut a hole that small with your Cricut. That just takes extra time, extra cutting time. So now we're going to take and open up our flags. And again, I just used some tape runner on there. Some down the stem and some across the flag, and just fold it over. All right, once you have those, then you're going to put your teeny tiny little hearts on there. Let me get those out of the box. And again, doesn't require a lot. It'll stick. Put that one on. And we did these so many years ago, and I was looking on Pinterest and I saw it, And I was like, oh, I remember those. Those were so much fun to do. And the kids can do them too. You know, if they're young, you don't want to give them this tool. You can do that part for them. And then I put my bread through the hole. Oops. I didn't get that one folded good. Make sure you get it folded good. So you can get your bread in there. And I just open it slightly just to hold it. So you got your breads in there. Then you're going to come to this piece. You have a score on this end and a fold on the back, and then two little tabs. I did not put a tab at the top because when you put a tab at the top, it flattens it out back here when you glue it, and I didn't like the look of it. If you want to add a tab, add a tab. Super easy. So, and you have a fold right here. Do not fold the front. It's supposed to stay open, so it will look something like this. Okay. You want to roll this piece between your fingers just to get some curve going in it. Want a little bit of curve in that part. And you can do that before you fold your scores if you want. You just want to get a little bit of curvature going in there. And then you can fold the tabs. And I've done two of these at a time. You can stack two up at a time and do that curling action. So super easy. It's folded. It's ready to go. Now we're just going to pop the flag on there. Let's see. And open that bread up. And if you forget to put your flag on there before you glue, it's not a big deal. You can still get to it and get it on there. It's fairly easy. You can reach it in there. So now our little flags are on. And with it face up, just going to take my tape runner again. And on those two tabs, I'm doing this on paper so that any excess stays on the paper and not my project. Once you have that done, you're just going to take this flap and you're going to bring it over on the bottom. Line up on that edge. Make sure that this is back to the back and just give it a press down. And then fold in your two tabs here. And go inside with your finger and just press those two tabs down and it will stay. Super easy. I had to rework my file on this a couple of times. I wasn't getting that back piece tall enough. I had a gap back there I didn't like. I didn't have my book with my old notes in it. I lost that in the flood. So I didn't have any measurements. I tried to go by theirs and I didn't. Theirs were for punches. Their directions were for punches. And we're using a Cricut. So super easy, simple. And then you're just going to take a piece of twine. And I just loop it. Do a little loop. And just hold it behind the flag and pull the two tails through. And it's really cute with red ribbon or red and white twine. That's what they had on theirs, and I loved it. I don't remember what we used to use on there. It's been a while. And then I just trim them off. You can even skip this step if you want. You don't have to have this. Super, super easy. And then your candies go in. So you hold it, slide the candies in, and they will come back out usually but when you put your little letter in the mailbox, it locks those in because that tries to puff back out because we didn't use our bone folder on it, and it will pop back out. Kind of locks it in place. Super, super cute and fun. How cute. Does anybody have any questions on how that goes together? I'm just going to do them on their side so you guys can see them. Hi, Cheryl. Super, super easy and fun. So that's today. This is tomorrow night. And this one is Friday. Yeah, I did, Cheryl. Some of it can't be replaced, but hey, there's Pinterest. I can remember projects that I did and go searching them out on Pinterest. That's what I did this time. I was like, I know we did some of these things. It's pretty easy to find measurements for that kind of stuff now. Used to, you had to go and do the scrapbook party things and talk to your Stampin' Up! People and get the dimensions, but now it's all on YouTube and Pinterest. You can just about recreate anything that you lost your measurements to. Isn't it? It's a cute, cute little collection, I think. And then we had the little bags we did on Monday. Had the little Valentine bags. So you guys have plenty of boxing for your treats and gifts and stuff for Valentine's Day. And guys, this box will hold a t-shirt. I think this one will too if you roll it. All right, does anybody have any questions on the mat screens, materials, any of that good stuff? This is, the little mini mailboxes are a supporter file, guys. It is a supporter file. Oh, I forgot to put my little rhinestones on. You guys almost let me forget. I like to put a little rhinestone right there. So let's get those over here. Just for extra little flash. A little pretty. Super cute. You can even put one on here. You can put one. I did one, if I can find it. I did put one as an example for you guys. I just didn't do them all. Of course, it's going to be the last one. You could put one on the center of your heart there. Little bitty rhinestone. Yes, you could do that in any theme, Cheryl. Anything at all. Birthdays, baby showers. I did that in this is a close to my heart paper pack, but I didn't have, but the paper is kind of thin. So, and I wanted it to be a little more sturdy than that. So I scanned my paper and printed it on Cricut cardstock. And it printed it a little bit more of a coral color than a pink color, which I love. The coral colors are really coming back in this year. So I was happy with it. If I was trying to get that effect, I wouldn't have been able to. I need to calibrate my printer settings. right. If nobody has any other questions, let me double check what we're going over on. I have lost and covered up my notebook. There it is. Oh, I meant to tell you guys too. Those of you who are talking about flowers, I've got something to show you. Okay, tomorrow we're doing the pink box, and we're talking about how to set up our profiles and sharing. I need to go over that with you guys one more time. And then on Friday, we're going to talk about how to change a file to get it set up for print and cut and contouring. So we'll go a little bit on contour with this one too, so that you guys can change this box up if you want. But I found this at Michael's, guys. This is not the extra fine, but we have crepe paper at Michael's now. This is the Recollections brand. So I may set up next week to do some flowers from felt. I may make it Flower Week. Let's see. Let's make it Flower Week starting the 30th, because I would like to have 4 lives on flowers. Probably maybe 2 felt and 2 cray. So I'm looking at this. Let me do this. Let me move this. I'm looking maybe, I don't know what I'll do here, but I'm saying the 30th and then into February that we do make this Flower Week so that we can do 4 lives on making flowers from felt and from crepe paper. Yeah, I had a ton of the Leah Griffith stuff, Marianne. I'm going to order another pack. Hopefully it will be here by then. But all my crepe paper got flooded. It was a soppy mess. I cried. All my extra fine stuff. You did? Well, you got a project this week, Gail, with those little felt bags that we did on Monday, and then on the 4th week, well, starting January 30th into February, we will do flowers. I love working with crepe paper. It's fun. You can keep these alive. I know sometimes I have trouble even growing pine straws. But we'll do something quick and easy on the 24th and 26th to give you guys a little bit of a break so you can catch your breath before Flower Week and gather up some supplies. Sound good? And if you guys have any suggestions of something that you may want to do, just let me know. February the 3rd, I do have that one set. I talked to Louise this morning. We're going to do her gnome shaker card on the 3rd of February from the community. Right. All right, guys, thank you for joining me. I greatly appreciate it. I know I said I did the live early today because I had a meeting to go to. However, the meeting got canceled, and I didn't want to flip-flop and change you guys back around, so I just left it. Blossom Weekend. Good thought there, Cheryl. Blossom Week. But I found some felt flowers in Designspace as well. So I'm going to take a look at those and pick a couple of them, and we'll go from there. All right, guys, you have a wonderful day. Don't forget to go and do the current giveaway. Make sure that you add your photo in your project details before you share your project link. You can add it after if you want, but it has to be in there when we open it. All right? Make sure you're doing your shopping, getting your projects posted to win that shopping spree. Happy crafting, guys. Thank you, admin. I greatly appreciate all you guys. Thank you to all my supporters. You guys are awesome.